NFL draft nerds, welcome in. Right now, we are taking a look at the running backs in the 2025 NFL draft class and where I think they will come off the board once the draft rolls around in late April. This is a little bit of a going out on a limb show because we don't have testing numbers yet. And we're going to have testing numbers later this week. This time next week, we'll be able to sit back and take a look at all these running backs and what they ran and their explosiveness and all that stuff at the combine. Right now, we don't have a lot of those numbers. So this is based strictly on tape and my projections and how I think the league will view these players. So I'm excited to dive into it. Just got back from covering James Gladstone's introductory press conference for the Jaguars. It was a lot of fun. But right now, running backs in the 2025 NFL draft. If you are an NFL draft nerd, if you love the NFL draft, this is the right place for you to be. It is all draft all the time here at Rogue Football. Thank you so much for being here. And if you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. So Ashton Jeanty at the top should be a top, in my opinion, should be a top 7 pick at worst, top 8. He is the 3rd ranked player on my board. I think he will definitely be a top 15 pick. Again, I think he should be a top 8 pick. I think he will definitely be a top 15 pick. I think some of these mocks where you're seeing him fall to the 20s, I don't see it happening. I think there's going to be a team that just says, this guy's game is too complete. He's too good of a player. He's the right age. He, broke out early. Unbelievable contact balance, tackle breaking ability. He's got vision and patience. He can run from under center, in the gun, wide zone, inside zone, gap power schemes. It doesn't matter. He's got great hands out of the backfield. He is ferocious in pass protection, and he's got explosive speed. So I think Ashton Jeanty has it all. And I think some team is going to feel like it's just too much for them to pass up on in the top 15. I really do. Now, Travion Henderson, out of Ohio State. This is a prospect I've been watching for so long. Being like, when can we get this guy in the draft? Because he made a big impact as a freshman at Ohio State. Been waiting for him to be in the draft for so long. And when I think last year he was draft eligible, he decided to go back with the rest of those Buckeyes, try to win a national championship. So obviously that was very commendable. Now, Travion Henderson, he doesn't have the same power that Ashton Jeanty brings, certainly. But he does have some mass on his frame. He's not a tiny back. He is short. He's not a tall guy. But if you've been paying attention, I like shorter backs, lower center of gravity. But what Travion Henderson is special at is he does everything at a very high level. Every aspect of his game is at a B or higher level, in my mind. Pass protection, maybe the best back in the class in pass protection. As a route runner and pass catcher, both out of the backfield and lining up in the slot or out wide, probably the best in the class. And then as a runner, very strong. Again, someone who shows vision and patience, someone who has blazing speed at the running back position. I think he's a low 4.4 guy. And he's explosive. He's shifty. He has that low center of gravity, so he has some contact balance to him as well. I think he has just good overall running back instincts. He's not just a speedster out there. You put the ball in his hands, go in a straight line. So I think he's someone that will be a 1A in this league, and you can have him on the field all 3 downs, no matter the situation. Is he going to be a power back? No, probably not. But he can get it done in so many different ways for you. Incredibly versatile. Now, speaking of a power back, Omarion Hampton and Travion Henderson, for me, top 30 prospect. I think he will go in the top 40. Omarion Hampton, I have as a top 40 prospect, and I think he will go in the top 40. So I think he's going to go in the range that I would have. He might go before Travion Henderson because I think he's going to run fast. And he's like 230 pounds, bowling ball of butcher knives type of guy. He will run through your face with his size and explosiveness. It's one of those combinations that is incredibly appealing to NFL teams because he's that guy that you can look at and you can say, we're going to feed him the rock and good luck. He's going to wear you down throughout the game. And he's explosive. I think that he's got enough wiggle at the second level and creativity that he's going to be a 1A in the NFL. I think he absolutely will. And the reason I'm not just saying one, in the NFL, you have running back by committee. That's just kind of the way it is. So I think Omarion Hampton is a 1A. I think Caleb Johnson is a 1A. I think he's a guy that's going to go in the top 50. I think he's in the same range as Omarion Hampton for me, where Omarion Hampton has just this insane explosiveness at his size. Caleb Johnson has like the sweetest feet of all these running backs. He is just always in the right place at the right time. He's always reading it out with the right timing and patterning of his movements as a runner, the vision, the patience in the backfield. He's a big guy too, over 220, 225 pounds. You haven't seen him a ton in pass pro. You haven't seen him a ton catching the ball out of the backfield. So those parts of the game are a little bit projection-y for him. But as a pure runner, I don't know that there's really anybody better besides Ashton Genty in this class as a pure runner than Caleb Johnson, which is why I think he'll be a top 50 pick. And after those first four guys, that's where I think the class gets completely fascinating. I do have some other guys who I'm projecting will be top 100 picks, will be day 2 picks, but I think there's going to be a lot of day 3 picks in the running back class this year that make a big impact at the next level. I really do. Cam Scatteraboo out of Arizona State, I think, is going to be a top 100 pick. He's got everything in his arsenal outside of the long speed. He can start and stop at an extremely high level, great contact balance. He's got unbelievable creativity, and with the ball in his hands, he can stiff arm you, he can juke you out of your shorts, he can get past you in so many different ways, and then he's also a tremendous pass catcher out of the backfield. His pass pro's got to improve for him to be like a true 3-down guy, but what he can give you when you just get the ball in his hands it's pretty special. Even though he's not going to have 80-yard runs at the NFL level, he might be the guy in this class that has the most 10-plus yard runs, the most yards of 8-plus, or runs of 8-plus, because he's going to get past the first guy almost every time. Usually he's going to get past the second guy as well. He's got great reactionary quickness and explosiveness to make people miss in small areas. So special player, unbelievable career in college. I can't wait to see where he lands in the NFL. I think he's gonna really help out a running back room. Trevor Etienne, Travis's brother, obviously, unbelievably fast. Just a fast running back, a little over 200 pounds. He is really fast. I think he's got some natural wiggle and creativity to his running as well. I think he'll be a top 100 pick. And I think a team's going to get probably a 1A. I think he has, Travis has struggled at times with the vision. Obviously, his offensive line is not always helping him out. I think Trevor is a little bit more naturally instinctive as a ball carrier. Not as big, or maybe not quite. I mean, Travis Etienne, I think, ran a 4.4 flat. Trevor might run a 4.4 flat. They're both, that's a special couple brothers there. In terms of just their physical talent. I think Trevor Etienne, as he continues to develop, he has the ability to be a 1A. Quinshon Judkins, I don't think is a 1A. I think he's a 1B, but I think he's a top 100 pick because of his combination of size and explosiveness. He is a tough runner. And he has that nose for the end zone, right? He'll run through you. He will run right through your face. Now, he doesn't have a lot of wiggle. He doesn't have a lot of ability to make you miss in space, especially at high speeds. But I think he's going to run pretty darn fast. I just don't think there's a lot of lateral agility. I don't think there's change of direction, again, in space down the field. But getting to the second level and then running through someone, if that's what you're asking your running back to do, I think Quinshon Judkins can do that for you. Top 100 pick, I think, but I think he'll end up being a 1B in the NFL. DJ Giddens, I think he's going to be a top 100 pick out of Kansas State. Giddens, there's just not a lot of guys that are 6'1", 212 pounds, maybe come in at 215, that kind of have the natural instincts as a runner, but also just kind of crazy athleticism at his size, whether that be his lateral cuts, his agility, his explosiveness down the field, um, creativity as a back. He reminds me a lot of what I saw from Brees Hall at Iowa State, to give you an indication of kind of what I see with DJ Giddens there. And then my final guy who I think is going to be a top 100 pick is Bashal Tutin out of Virginia Tech. The guy, talk about DJ Giddens being explosive and fast. Tutin might be the best, might be the fastest back in this class, might be the fastest guy. And he's over 210 pounds. Came in at the Senior Bowl, 211 pounds. Another short king, just under 5'10", but wow. I mean, he looks like he's moving at 1.25 speed, and it's not just like running in a straight line. It's bending. It's being able to move with fluidity, and the start and stop ability is pretty special with him. And so I think he'll be a 1A at the NFL level, and I would draft him ahead of, probably ahead of everybody on this list not named Genty, Henderson, Hampton, Johnson, Scattaboo. I think Tutin is really, really good. Now, he does have a little fumbling problem. 9 fumbles in the last 2 seasons. So that's something you got to clean up. That's something you got to make sure you feel comfortable that you can clean up. But other than that, what a special runner. And very good pass catcher as well. I think Damian Martinez should be a top 100 guy out of Miami. Just a monster type running back, throwback type of guy. 6 foot, almost 6 foot, 5'11", 226 pounds. He's got great length. I think you see that a lot with his ability to snag the football out of the air. But Damian Martinez, his combination of vision and patience in the backfield, and then when he gets to the second level, he has the lateral agility at his size to make you miss the jump cuts, but he also will run right through your face, and you're going to feel it. And he just turned 21 years old in January. He's a young prospect with not a lot of tread on his tires. My favorite running back in this class, Damian Martinez, is. Maybe. He's up there. Gosh, I love Genty and Henderson too. So top 3. He's one of my top 3 favorite running backs in this class. Damian Martinez is. I think if he can put on a little bit of a show at the combine at his size, I think he'll get a lot more buzz on him. And I think he deserves a lot of buzz. I think maybe RJ Harvey sneaks in there too out of UCF. Very dynamic runner with the ball in his hands, put up a ton of yards, made a lot of people look very silly in space at UCF. I think he's going to run extremely well at the combine. So another guy to keep an eye on there. And there's tons of running backs, right? That can make a big impact at the NFL level. Ollie Gordon had a ton of buzz before the year. I think that he is struggling in the juice department a little bit. But Jarquez Hunter out of Auburn, another guy I really like. Woody Marks, Jaquavius Marks out of USC, very explosive. Devin Neal, incredibly productive at Kansas, has a lot of tread on the tires. LaQuint Allen, another guy that is really getting a lot of buzz out there. And of course, Donovan Edwards was someone who everybody loved just a couple years ago out of Michigan. This is a dynamic running back class, a class that has no shortage of guys that I think can be 1A or 1B backfield by committee in the NFL. So that's a lot of fun. I can't wait to see where they land, how they perform at the combine this upcoming week, and how their NFL careers go. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe, and y'all have a good one.